News Channel 3 is your back-to-school headquarters. Local districts are about to start the new year, and making sure they have enough teachers ready to go on day one is one of their big challenges. There is a teacher shortage going on nationwide, and especially here in California. Tonight, we're taking a look at the problem and how it's impacting local districts. In my I-Team investigation, hustling to hire.
Yeah, you're here. Welcome back.
Back to school is an exciting time of the year for students and for teachers, especially new teachers. And there will be more than 250 of them this year between the Valley's 3 school districts.
I think we went on some 35 recruitment trips from January to April.
I sat down with administrators from all of the Valley's districts. Desert Sands and Palm Springs Unified will go coast to coast.
We have a lot of reciprocity with different states, especially like Washington, Illinois, New York, states like that.
So they might focus on those places because it'll be easier for a teacher to get credentialed in California if they come from those states. Desert Sands made a big push this year on social media.
And I think we saw some interest that we hadn't seen before, especially in Arizona. We got a number of candidates that showed interest.
Coachella Valley Unified keeps its recruiting efforts closer to home for the most part.
Most of our teachers that we've offered to have been from our own job fairs. That's where we see the biggest impact in hiring is teachers that come here to apply at our job fairs.
Retirements are a big factor in creating those openings.
It started about 3 to 5 years ago where we saw a large group of the baby boomer generation reaching retirement age.
Valley-wide, nearly 90 teachers retired after last school year. Some teachers are leaving for other reasons.
I had 2 people that dropped their keys on the principal's desk and said, "I'm not coming back tomorrow."
I talked with the presidents of the Desert Sands and Coachella Valley Teachers Associations who say job satisfaction is also a factor, especially post-COVID.
A couple of the things that have contributed to the teacher shortage recently, especially during pandemic and post-pandemic, is the student behavior, and also parent behavior has just become so extreme.
We were the heroes for a minute, and then suddenly when it became time to go back, we were allowed to go back with masks and distancing and all of that stuff. Then we became, I don't know I wouldn't say
villains,
but the villains. Thank you. That we became the villains suddenly because we wanted kids to wear masks in our classrooms when we didn't have access to vaccinations.
They say classroom behavior and current discipline policies cause some teachers to leave the field. Overall, they all agree the biggest problem with the teacher shortage is fewer young people interested in teaching.
I went to a recruitment trip in southern Utah, and they had a total of 14 eligible candidates, so only 14 graduates in their teacher prep program, where in years past we were talking to maybe 50 of them.
Here in California, the state issued 16% fewer credentials to teachers in the 21-22 school year over the previous year.
So you kind of see that trend every 5 or 6 years that there's a bunch of teachers and then there's not a bunch of teachers.
It's kind of a pendulum swing in education, but we are looking right now at that position across the state where we are having a teacher shortage.
In some cases, districts are offering bonuses for hard-to-fill positions.
We have some high-need areas like special education and math and science that we still are trying to recruit some teachers.
And we are offering incentives for hiring new teachers. We have a $10,000 incentive for those hard-to-fill positions.
The Valley does offer one advantage when it comes to recruiting young teachers.
When we talk about California, and the candidates usually say, well, we're in California. Back in the day, we used to say Palm Springs area, right? Now I say, Coachella Fest, and they all do.
Another complicating factor for the desert is that all 3 local districts are in the same spot, often competing against each other.
Because of the kind of secluded nature of the Desert Valley, we share the same labor force with our 2 partners, Palm Springs and also Coachella Valley. And so there's always a competitive piece to actually recruiting.
Now, the state of California is considering some policies to help deal with this shortage. It may join the Interstate Teacher Mobility Compact. 10 states have already signed on to this. It's a deal that means teachers can move between those states and be able to get an equivalent license without having to go through further education.
So John, will districts be ready? Will there be enough teachers this school year?
Well, Karen, all 3 districts say that they're going to be as ready as they can be. They do concede that they'll have a small number of long-term substitutes and a few people on emergency credentials in classrooms. Some of that they say can't be avoided even in a good year because, you know, there's changing enrollments in schools, some surprises that happen, late retirements, other factors, and they try to work through those issues as quickly as possible.
Very interesting there. We need more teachers.
There you go.
Thanks.